Guys, I hope you are doing great, and we're going to start talking about Chapter 11. So Chapter 11 is Castle Rock. Chapter 11 comes right after Jack and his savages raided the shelters where Ralph and Piggy were staying, and they took Piggy's glasses. So Chapter 11 starts. We see Ralph and Piggy, they're beaten up. Sam and Eric are there as well with Ralph and Piggy. And they're talking about what they can do. And so basically in this situation, Piggy is basically like helpless. He cannot see at all. He's blinded without his glasses. He can't move about by himself because he needs his glasses to be able to see. And they talk about what they're going to do. They have to make a plan. They make spears to protect themselves. They're going to go to Jack's camp. They talk about taking the conch with them. They're basically trying to remind Jack and the savages, like, this is humility. This is being reasonable. This is like focusing on rescue. This is being like normal people and not bloodthirsty or a savage. They take the conch. Piggy says, this is a quote from page 171. I'm going to him with the conch in my hands. I'm going to hold it out. Look, I'm going to say, you're stronger than I am, and you haven't got asthma. But see, I'm going to say, and with both eyes, but I don't ask for my glasses back, not as a favor. I ask you to be a sport. I'll say, not because you're strong, but because right's right. Give me my glasses. I'm going to say, you've got to. And so basically they kind of come up with this plan to go there looking civilized, to go there being a stark opposite of what Jack and his men have become. We're going to wash. I've got socks left in the shelter, says Eric. And basically they're just trying to like dress like they would before they landed on this island. But their plan is to go and carry the conch, to look civilized, to try to reason with the savages. And so they're traveling, and as they're traveling, Piggy is very needy. He calls out consistently, don't leave me. And I mean, it has to be terrifying for Piggy to not be able to see anything that's around him and know that he's on an island with a bunch of boys that really want to harm him. And basically they meet these savages that are like guarding the area that they need to get into. Ralph says he's going to call a meeting. He blows the conch. And basically the savages throw rocks at them. And then as he's doing this, Jack comes out of the woods with a pig, and Ralph and Jack end up squaring off, and they're fighting. Ralph is accusing him of stealing Piggy's glasses, that they need to focus on the fire. Ralph calls him a thief, and says that you've got to give Piggy his glasses back. Jack says, got to, who says? And they square off and they fight, and Piggy is there, and Piggy is Ralph's reasoning voice. He says, Ralph, remember why we came, the fire, my specs. Ralph nods and basically kind of backs down from the fight with Jack. Listen, we've got to say this. First, you've got to give Piggy his specs back. If he hasn't got them, he can't see. You aren't playing the game. And basically the savages giggle at what Ralph says there. They talk about the fire, how it's important, that if a ship goes by, they need to be noticed, or they'll be there forever. And they kind of go back and forth like this, and then Piggy gets into it, and Piggy says, I've got the conch, he shouted. I tell you, I've got the conch. Surprisingly, there was silence now. The tribe was curious to hear what amusing thing he might say. Silence and a pause. But in the silence, a curious air noise rose by Ralph's ear. And basically it was someone throwing a rock. Piggy says, I've got to say this. You're acting like a bunch of kids. The booing noise and rose and died away, again as Piggy lifted the magic white shell. Which is better to be a pack of painted Indians like you are, or to be sensible like Ralph is? A great clamor rose among the savages. Piggy shouted again, which is better, to have rules and agree, or to hunt and kill? And they're continuing to throw rocks, and then what we hear is Ralph hears it. It's this big rumbling, and basically we've seen the boys roll rocks before for fun in the beginning chapters, but basically what the savages are doing right now is they're rolling this massive rock down a hill towards Ralph and Jack. Ralph hears it. He's able to spring out of the way. On the top of page 181, the rock struck Piggy a glancing blow from his chin. The conch exploded into 1,000 white fragments and ceased to exist. So that's, our conch has been our consistent symbol of being reasonable, humility, civilization, order, and that's now totally destroyed. Piggy said nothing, with no time for even a grunt, traveled through the air sideways from the rock, turning over as he went. The rock bounced twice and was lost in the forest. Piggy fell 40 feet and landed on his back across the square red rock in the sea. His hands opened. I don't know if you guys can hear my roosters. I'm sorry. His hands opened and stuff came out. His head opened and stuff came out and turned red. Piggy's arms and legs twitched a bit like a pig after it had been killed. And so that is Piggy's death. And so that's even more symbolic as the things that Piggy as a person has represented the same things as the conch: being civil, having humility, being reasonable. And all of this is gone now. It's total chaos, total savagery. And so basically this ends with the savages forcing Sam and Eric to be part of their tribe. The savages also throw a spear at Ralph. And Ralph takes off. And Sam and Eric are now forced to be a part of their tribe. All right, I'll see you guys for chapter 12 soon.